Welcome to Creative Originals by Roxine. Sit back and enjoy my videos. This is where we left off with part 2. So now we're going to take the third section. We're just going to divide it into some equal parts. So I just take a pencil and I'm going to draw a few lines and maybe a curvy line from the center to the opposite side, and then kind of match that on the other side if you can. Doesn't have to be perfect, just like so. It's pretty cool. And then in each one of these sections we're going to put some sort of a doodle. I think I'm going to start in the center. Well, no, I think what I'll do is go ahead and draw my lines. So I'll speed up the video just a little bit, and we'll get all our lines drawn first. I'm using a straight edge skew, either an A or a G. I like the way they make nice straight lines. While you're at it, you can go in there and touch up a little bit. Now, a straight edge doesn't always work as well to do a curve, so you may need to change your tip to a more of a curved tip like a D. Next, I think I'm just going to echo that line and try to make it about the same distance apart, and then I'm going to shade that in. So I'm going to do that on both sides. I have no rhyme or reason to it. I'm just adding doodles and designs, and as you know, when we finish, they always turn out to be pretty and have nice character and definition and detail. You can just kind of see I'm shadowing in and burning that so it's darker. We'll speed the video up a little bit and finish both sides. I am using the D tip again here. It does take a little bit of time to shade. If you feel as if you're not getting good coverage, go at a little bit lighter heat and then come back and go back over it again and cover it. I think the D does really well for shading. As you can see, it does take a little bit of work. If you go with the grain, you can shade better. If you go against the grain, it's a little harder. It kind of ripples a little bit. So go along with the grain with bamboo. There you go, that looks nicely shaded. If you have any little areas that are kind of showing through with your bamboo, just go back in and touch it up. Now we're going to start filling in some more detail in the other sections. And I think here I'm just going to do some straight lines and fill in the crescent triangle there. And then come back and do opposite lines, and then maybe do some sort of a crisscross design throughout all those squares and rectangles. That always looks pretty to the eye. Now you're going to see now I'll do another line coming down the center and then divide that equally, and then come back in and start filling those in. If it's hard for you to draw evenly, then draw it in with a pencil first and then come back in and burn it. There you go, the right side's done there. Now we'll do the left, just like so. And then we're going to go back in and we're going to fill in with diagonal lines. I think those diagonal lines will really enhance that look. As you can see, I'm changing the tip back to a straight edge G. I believe I'm going to use a skew, letter G through coal wood for the Super Pro 2 burner. You all probably have the same sorted tips on your burners, but they may be labeled something other than a G. I'm going to draw my lines to begin with, just to give me a frame of reference, and I draw them very lightly, and then I'll come back and burn all of these in. And it's just going to be crisscross lines in every square until they're all filled up. As you can see, this does take quite a bit of time to do the crisscross lines. So one side is finished. Now we'll do the other side. Isn't that pretty? I like that. So now let's do that side. We'll speed the video up. There you go. They're done. So if you're doing the same thing and following along, just take some time to fill them all in. What I'm doing here, I'm going to divide this upper section into some triangle shapes. Then I'm going to do some teardrops on each side of the center, and then do a small oval shading in the center of each teardrop. Now I'll probably draw those in by pencil, and I'm going to be changing my tip from a straight skew to probably my D tip, which has a little bit more of a rounded nose to it, so I can do the curves a little bit better, or even my C tip, which is more like a writing tip. As you can see, these have just a little bit of an oval, and then I'll do a little center part in each one of them and shade that in. So I've got all those drawn in. Whenever I do a more complicated design, it has a lot more detail, I will sometimes draw them in and then come back with my eraser and make sure I erase them. And you can see here, I am using the C tip here, and I'm just going around each one and then shading in the little center oval, almost looking like peacock feathers in the center. Be sure to like my page, subscribe, click on the bell so you get notices whenever I post a new video. Share my page, please. The more likes I get, the better. I do like constructive criticism, so please leave comments. Thank you. Okay, we're just about finishing up there. If you're following along and trying to do the same design, take your time, turn the video back on, proceed with the next section. I'll probably get some of those tips out of the way. Sometimes they can get a little hot when we change some. So now I'm back to a straighter skew, and this is where I'm going to do what we call a beatweed. And I'm going to do a narrow to a wider line from left to right. It's kind of a pyramid shape. And I just keep doing that until I get down to a small section, and then I'll shade that small section in. And we're going to do the same thing left to right with all four of the triangular sections that are on this upper area. That shouldn't take very long to do. Those are just straight lines. Sometimes I go past my lines and I'll get another cut in the wood, and I'll go back with my little chisel and I'll scratch those out. So now I'm going to do the same thing on the other two triangles that are left, and we'll just about have those beatweeds finished. That will leave the remaining two sections on the crescent moon. And I think what I'm going to do there is probably a stippling design. I think that will be really pretty to kind of end the doodles on this half moon shape. And a few little bit of lines back in there. Back to the other side. Finish that up. There you go. Both sides. Looks pretty nice. Now I'm back to my writing tip. Actually, I think that's a B1 tip. It has a tiny small ball on that. And I do have to turn my heat up just a little bit more with that particular tip. And you want to have a light touch. And I'm going to do a meandering kind of stippling throughout this section. So we'll speed the video up and finish those two sections, and we're just about finished. We're just about done with our stippling. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, like my page, share it, Creative Originals by Roxine. At the end of this video, I decided to add some words, and The Sound of Silence is one of my favorite songs. And so at the end of this video, I actually took a stencil and I put "Hello Darkness, my old friend" around the crescent moon in sort of an gothic type of stencil, and I really like the way it turned out. This cutting board, this bamboo cutting board, will be available in my Etsy shop. That's Creative Originals RK. Take some time, check out my shop. Thank you all for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them. I appreciate all of them. Have a great day.